We want to get right to the COVID crisis now, a personal health crisis for the president. In the last weeks of an election, that's a first in American history. The president is now entering his fourth day at Walter Reed Medical Center, battling the virus that has claimed more than 209,000 American lives. His doctors have said he could be released today, but their briefings have been marked by misdirection and misleading information. And last night, this stunning moment. The president left the hospital for a surprise drive-by to see supporters outside. That drew criticism from medical experts and raised serious questions about the risks he was imposing on the Secret Service agents in the car with him.
This all comes as we are learning more about the president's condition as COVID cases linked to the president grow. At least 11 people, including the First Lady, now testing positive after attending recent events like the Supreme Court nomination ceremony.
George is going to speak with Rudy Giuliani, who participated in debate prep with the president. That is just ahead. But we're going to begin our coverage with Cecilia Vega at Walter Reed. Good morning, Cecilia.
Robin, good morning to you. President Trump is up here at Walter Reed, and he is tweeting a lot this morning, at least 9 in just the last few minutes. But really, it is that surprise drive-by this morning that is causing so much concern. President Trump, whom experts say is likely still contagious, taking that drive-by just so supporters could see him out here for a few seconds.
It was a stunt that violated CDC guidelines and unnecessarily put the health of Secret Service agents at risk. The president breaking his quarantine at Walter Reed to do a drive-by for his supporters gathered outside the hospital. He's there in the back seat wearing a mask and waving. Others in the SUV with him exposed. Health experts say the president likely still contagious. Overnight, the White House saying in a statement appropriate precautions were taken, including PPE. The movement was cleared by the medical team as safe to do. But the administration's own CDC says any movement of a hospitalized COVID patient outside their room should only be done for medically essential purposes. And Walter Reed attending physician Dr. James Phillips saying the irresponsibility is astounding, adding every person in that car now has to quarantine for 14 days. They might get sick, they may die for political theater. And after a weekend in the hospital, he now says he's learned a lot.
So it's been a very interesting journey. I learned a lot about COVID. I learned it by really going to school. This is the real school. This isn't the let's read the book school. And I get it.
It follows a weekend of mixed messages and false statements from the president's medical team. On Saturday, White House Dr. Sean Conley repeatedly dodging questions about whether the president was so sick he needed oxygen.
Yesterday and today, he was not on oxygen. Thursday, no oxygen, none at this moment. Yeah, and yesterday with the team, while we were all here, he was not on oxygen.
But now, Conley says he did actually administer oxygen to the president on Friday at the White House after his blood oxygen dropped. Sources telling ABC the president had difficulty breathing.
I was concerned for possible rapid progression of the illness. I recommended the president we try some supplemental oxygen, see how he'd respond.
Also over the weekend, Conley time and time again painted a rosy picture of the president's condition.
This morning, the president is doing very well. The team and I are extremely happy with the progress the president has made.
But just minutes after that, the White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows issued a dire warning to reporters saying we are still not on a clear path to a full recovery. Later telling Fox News the president's health deteriorated and aides were very concerned.
He had a fever and his blood oxygen level had dropped rapidly.
By Sunday, the president's doctors in full damage control.
I was trying to reflect the upbeat attitude that the team, the president, that his course of illness has had. I didn't want to give any information that might steer the course of illness in another direction. And in doing so, it came off that we were trying to hide something, which wasn't necessarily true. So here I have it.
The White House releasing these pictures of the president at work inside Walter Reed. Doctors say he's responding well to the antiviral treatment remdesivir and a steroid.
He's ambulating himself, walking around the White House medical unit without limitation or disability.
But this morning, there are serious questions about why and how President Trump caught COVID in the first place. Last week's Rose Garden announcement for his Supreme Court pick, Amy Coney Barrett, a possible super spreader event. The packed crowd shoulder to shoulder, few wearing masks, both outside and at an indoor reception. So far, 9 people in attendance testing positive, including the First Lady, who is experiencing a mild cough and headache. Also, Kellyanne Conway, 2 Republican senators, and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie seen at the event hugging others. Christie also part of the president's debate prep team last week, and now 5 out of the 9 people involved have tested positive, including top aide Hope Hicks and campaign manager Bill Stepien. And it doesn't end there. Others who had recent contact with the president testing positive too, including White House journalists, the head of the Republican Party, and the president's personal assistant and body man, seen boarding Air Force One last week with Hicks, neither wearing a mask.
So there are serious questions this morning about exactly when President Trump first tested positive, since his doctors refused to answer that over the weekend. Sources are now telling us that the president had already had his positive test results back when he called into Fox News and told Sean Hannity that he didn't know whether he had the virus or not. His press secretary is also now saying that he didn't have those positive test results back when he went to that fundraiser in Bedminster. But Amy, it's important to note here that he had still known that he had been exposed to Hope Hicks at that time and potentially put 200 some odd supporters at risk.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.